Welcome to the Uncharted Talent Sports Podcast, the Full Ride Athlete Podcast. This is Coach Emmanuel here, ready to rant, ready to entertain you, but educate you as well in all matters football related in Quebec, prep related, CEGEP related, name it. I'm your coach. All right, so today the topic is going to be about how to please NCAA coaches. Why? What the topic? I mean, we all take for granted that, somewhere, somehow, if we have a highlight, well, I never had an highlight, so I don't know, but I'm looking at all of you guys, or your kids sending me highlights and whatnot. And it's normal that, you have a highlight, you work all like, you sweat, blood, and tears to produce on the field at the level you're playing. You can only so much control who you're playing against. You get awards, you win championships, you're confident about your ability to play football, just in general. Does that mean that you're going to be the appeal for everybody? Well, let's talk about it. Why would a player not be the appeal for everybody? Well, it's simple. Does every woman that you see appeal you? Or if you're a gal, does every guy that you see appeal you? No. Does it mean they're ugly? No, but they may not be as beautiful, as attractive as those you prefer. So let me ask you this then. Just imagine if one of your buddies consistently is trying to hook you up with that gal that you just find height. She's okay, she's decent, but nothing more than that. But he's like, man, she's the best thing since sliced bread. She cooks so well, but you wouldn't even, pay attention to her. She doesn't even appeal you. Like the first 30 seconds, you're like, you're right. All right. Can we move on to another topic? Well, if you're able to feel like that about a gal, well, just imagine how a coach can feel that way about your tape. Because that's the reality, kids. A lot of times you send your tape without really knowing whether or not you did a tape that would appeal the type of coaches you're trying to please. How come? Maybe because in your program, they don't tell you that, hey, you're not fit for that level. Don't try to talk to that type of coach. Don't try it. You're not there. You don't have what he's gonna like. But yeah, I'm a great player. I believe in myself. Okay, but you don't have what he wants. But no, I believe in myself. Isn't that what is most important? Well, you tell me. If a gal is decent or just height, borderline ugly to you, she approached you, you said, okay, I hear you, thanks, but not interested. Or you're known to have a certain taste by your entourage, but they keep feeding you the total opposite. Would you stay around with that crowd? Would you just tell them, oh yeah, just keep sending me people and then I'll believe that you have what I like? But it's the same thing as a player, folks. Why do you want it any differently than how you look at potential women? Or I don't know. I don't want to get in too much into that, but that's just the reality. So if we can say about you, other than if you're dominant for your level, well, if you're a skilled player, are you the fastest around? Or one of the clear fastest? Is your speed a clear separator? Your explosiveness, your agility, your hops? If those things are not obvious on your tape, How can you make it obvious? Or if your lineman, especially those guys inside or just blockers, is your power, strength, nasty streak evident on tape? If not, how can you make it evident even without the tape? Rule number one, make sure that you show that you are training on your weaknesses. What does that mean? You may think you're fast, but you may not be fast enough for what a coach is looking for. Because have you ever put yourself in the shoe of coaches that you've sent your tape and ask yourself, before I sent my tape, what is the likelihood that I'm the only person that asked that coach to look at my tape? Or what's the likelihood that I'm the only tape he's seen all year? And what's the likelihood that he hasn't seen someone like me before that he probably said no to or not interested? So if it is not as obvious that you're fast, even though you think you're fast, or it's not as obvious that you're strong, are you doing track and showing it on your Twitter? Are you, working on your strength with your max bench press, max squat? Are you working on your explosiveness, consistently showing that you're able to power clean, to do broad jumps, to do vertical jumps consistently at a certain rhythm that we can read through your Twitter that you're training? Nobody? That's the issue. If I'm being straight with a lot of you guys, especially from my area in Quebec, I'll tell you straight, you guys don't train squat enough to warrant attention down south. I'll repeat myself. You guys don't train squat enough to warrant any attention down south. And yet, you guys are demanding. But it's not totally your fault. I'm just saying it that way for you to kind of make sure you have to feel bad in this moment to understand that I was your age and I thought, not that I really, at my time, there was no going to prep and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. But it didn't prevent me from dreaming that one day if I could make it to the NFL, I would want the opportunity. But honestly, even when I look at myself, I was training, but I wasn't training as hard as I should if I really want to make that dream happen. Because compared to a lot of guys that I'm helping, I wasn't naturally gifted, physically gifted. I was relatively slow. I was big enough, but not the tallest. I was strong enough, but not the strongest. Hey, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all are going to bench press way more than I've done in my whole life or football career, even though I look strong. Because I didn't really apply myself compared to the guys that I've hit. There's the guys you're going to see clearly from, hey, another thing too, as a rule, be honest with what works on the market. Some of you are coming to me and be like, oh no, it's not, even if they're the biggest, not the fastest, it doesn't mean they're the best on the field. It doesn't, that mindset does not apply to you here yet. Because that mindset label, we only give it when guys make it to the NCAA at least. Then they can have a say. Why? Because they play against guys who, especially if they're in the powerful conferences, that they played against guys who are most likely going to be going to the NFL or other professional leagues. But if you are saying that, you're saying that, oh no, it's not my speed, my time speed, my measured strength is not important based on your track record here, you are misguided and you're not paying attention to the right things. You have such a window. If you're still in the junior varsity or varsity levels, whether in Quebec, in Canada, or in the States, if you're being told that now is for you to be able to look at yourself and not take how good you are against Your current peers who, hey, look at me. These guys are most likely going to be your dentist, your cashier at the McDonald's. They're most likely going to be the ones that you're gonna see driving, riding buses, be a lawyer, be, in a call center, but they're not going to be in NFL or CFL because you know really well the ones that have at least CFL potential, they're evident from now. Do you even match their athletic abilities right now? Don't sell yourself into something you're not, because guess what? Let me tell you this. If I was able to redo my career and look at myself coming out of, let's say, high school, I was a 5'10" and a half, 5'11" pound, 5'11", 215, 220-pound linebacker, or even bigger than that, but I was sloppy, and not even able to run lower than a 5'2". Why would I even think States? Because I have something that looks somewhat on paper similar to what the guys put on Madden, but my speed would probably be less than a 50 on Madden. Like, why does it matter? If I don't have a matching speed for the type of athletes that know how to play football down south. And that's what I feel that a lot of you don't, either one, don't seem to naturally understand, which is most of you. Two, too many of you, I feel you don't want to face that reality. And that's why I need your parents involved. Parents, set the record straight with your son. I'm not telling you to tell them it's impossible for them to make it to the highest leagues, but let's please help them understand they need to follow a realistic pathway. Not one they want, the one that is not for the faint of heart. The one where you're going to be told things you don't want to hear. The one where you're going to have to wake up at hours and sleep at hours you don't want to. The one that says if you have to not be with any chick for the next 3 or 4 years to make it happen, well, guess what? No negotiation. No negotiation. Because why would you want someone to tell you the straight core of hardcore facts, but yet you don't want to follow along because it gets too hard, but yet you want to go out there and with your friends go chill as if you're a big shot? Stay here if you want to do that. What do you want me to tell you? Oh, life is unfair. Yes, God has the right to decide who he creates the way he wants to. If he decided that that person has more talent than you and more DNA matching up the NFL, well, the world hasn't been made around football. The world was created for a way bigger purpose that is not even fit to talk about. Like, this podcast is not big enough to talk about those type of things, but just to let you know, hello, the world doesn't revolve about how you succeed or not in football. Just saying. It's much more than that. There's people who are starving to death around the world. They don't even have time to spell football before being hungry about something. But yet, here we have the luxury that if you don't make it to the first list level, it's the end of the world. You have to change your mindset, because guess what? You have to accept the fact that if you want to at least give a serious commitment, don't be a BB Lala. Don't be one where, oh, okay, you know what? It's too hard. It's not as leisure fun that I thought. Then I'm going to quit and then call it that app. The coaches are hating on me. This guy, Emmanuel, is not really, taking me in consideration. He's not taking me seriously. Go tell that to your friends that listen to you, but don't come tell me that, because nobody will take you seriously if you think that way and you gossip that way. I am telling you. Because we want to take athletes seriously. There are many different opportunities for different levels of athletes. Some guys are going to be fortunate enough to warrant NCAA D1 FBS Power 4 offers, some a notch below NCAA D1 FBS Group of 5 offers, some NCAA D1 FCS offers, some NCAA Division 2, Level 1, but there's still full ride, some Division 2, lower level with no full ride, some Division 3 NCAA, some U Sports with full rides, some U Sports with no full ride or just half rides. At the end of the day, don't you need an education and the best chance to continue playing football as fast as the market is willing to allow you? You can only push your ceiling based on the next available one. You can't push it 2 notches below. It doesn't exist. So why don't you just focus on the next ceiling you need to break? Have someone that can tell you it straight on how you need to work. So let's say you're a really good student, but if you're not a good athlete, I don't care who you're beating on this level, one-on-one. These guys don't know how to even train their bodies. Why would I take for gospel that because you burnt guys who will never, ever, ever even make it to CEGEP? Why would I take for granted that means you're good? Or you beat a offensive lineman that will never, ever get into a weight room, even in CEGEP Division 3. Why would I take for granted that that makes you good? You think coaches don't look at what type of athlete you're potentially, playing against when you show them their tape and they he was open, or he made a sack, or he had a big tackle and that's it. No, understand that coaches look at how you are doing it and who doesn't seem you're doing it against. And that's where you want to go in a good program, because if the camera angle is not the best, the most quality, but guess what? You're wasting their time. So all this to say is that was my big rant on the mindset you guys really need to start having if you want to please coaches. Because what's the mindset? Ask yourself these questions, not what I want them to know about me as a player. What do they want to find as players to deem that they're full ride offerables? If you don't ask yourself this, good luck being a good player, but also don't cry if you don't get no offers. All right. So this is Coach Emmanuel here. I hope my rant is going to help you think straight. All right. I still love you as a person, but please, if you're not even going to call every chick beautiful, don't complain if a coach doesn't like your game. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, if you can't judge chicks, let coaches be able to judge that your talent could be good enough or not enough. All right. So thank you again for being part of this episode. Follow me on Spotify, follow me on Twitter, and see you at the next episode.